Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Woody's Workshop. Today I'm going to be showing you how to repair the rear air suspension on a 2007 to 2018 BMW X5 with rear air suspension. This is a new X5 that I just recently purchased. It's a 2010 M Sport 4.8 V8. It's pretty nicely optioned. It has comfort access. It is an M Sport package, so it has all the nice painted fender flares, no running boards. It's just a more modern looking X5. It has a CIC, so the navigation, and it's got Logic 7 hi-fi audio. It's just a much nicer optioned X5 than my other one. So this will be my new one, and I'll be getting rid of the other one. Like I said, I did get a really good deal on this truck, but there's a reason for it. I do have to fix the rear air suspension, which I'll be showing you today. And it does have a little bit of an oil leak that I'll be addressing in an upcoming video. So with that being said, let's get to diagnosing and repairing the rear air suspension. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is jack up the rear of the vehicle. I use the rear differential as a jacking point to get both rear wheels off the ground at the same time. Once you've got the vehicle up high enough, you're going to need to use a properly rated jack stand, because you are going to be underneath the truck, and you do not want to work underneath the vehicle at any time with just a jack. It's extremely dangerous, so make sure you have the correct tools to do the job. So now we've got the vehicle secured safely on jack stands. You might just want to shake it a little bit, make sure it's secure, it's not going anywhere. And now I'll show you how to diagnose leaking rear air springs. Okay, so you can check these air springs without taking the rear tires off. You would just have to crawl under the truck and check them. Since I know I'm going to be replacing them, I'm going to go ahead and take the wheels off just to give you a better visual on the actual bags themselves leaking. Okay, so to check your rear airbags, you're going to need some type of soapy water in a spray bottle. You're just going to want to shake it up, and you actually just spray the bag here. Sometimes you won't see it unless the weight of the truck is on the bag, which it can be very difficult to see when the truck's on the ground. On my vehicle, you can see just a little bit. This is after I've sprayed them, but you can see here there's some bubbles coming out right there and right there, and obviously this will just be amplified once the weight of the vehicle is on the bags. And overnight, this is a pretty substantial leak, and you don't want to leave this. This is something you want to address fairly quickly. If this is left unaddressed, it can end up turning into a much more costly repair. When these bags are leaking, your compressor is continuously running non-stop, and it can result in the compressor burning out, which is significantly more expensive than just maintaining the vehicle and replacing the bags. Okay, so now that I've verified that the bags are the root cause of the sagging suspension, we can get to the fun part, which is deflating the bag. So grab a pocket knife or a razor blade or whatever you got and stab the bags. Just like that. So once you've deflated the bag, you're ready to remove the air spring, and you do that by using a pry bar or maybe even a flathead screwdriver and going under this white plastic portion and popping it up out of the knuckle. Once it's removed from the knuckle, you just turn it counterclockwise. Comes down and out. The only other tool you need to do this replacement yourself is a 10mm wrench, and that's to loosen the flare nut for the airline. And both sides have two different color airlines. The passenger side is blue, driver's side is red. You just loosen this nut. Okay, so here's the air fitting on the rear air spring. It does have this little compression collar, and then this nut slides down over the top of the collar, and when it's inserted into the top of the air spring and tightened down, it crimps the line and seals it up. So you will have to slide this collar off and then slide the nut off in order to get the line out of the old spring and put it into the new one, but that's not a big deal at all. You take the nut off and you can slide the line out. Now you're ready to take the bag out. So I did decide to go aftermarket with the replacement air springs. I'll be using Arnott suspension systems part number A-2642, and these do have a lifetime warranty on them versus an OEM BMW bag is only going to have a 2-year parts warranty on it. So you can actually see this bag is a little bit different as far as the texture. I don't know if it's, there you go. It's actually kind of a fabric type of texture, and the factory bags are not. They're just straight up rubber. So we will have to swap over this top plastic covering, and it does have the hole for the line to go through, so just make sure that lines up directly with the hole on the actual top of the bag. So the replacement bag does actually come with the air fitting pre-installed. It has this little shipping spacer that is inserted into the nut. You just remove that white shipping spacer, and what you're going to want to do is, like I was saying, line up the hole for the airline with the hole on the actual air spring. Once you get this on, which can kind of be a pain in the ass, there you go. Shift it to where you need it. That looks pretty straight. You can kind of see. And we're going to want to get this airbag back in here. We take the line and insert it. Maybe. There we go. And you just push it into your new fitting and give it a pull and make sure it's seated in there. You don't have to tighten this nut up again. It's already pre-tightened. You just slide the line in as far as you can slide it, and then give it a good tug and make sure it's nice and secured. Alright, so now that we've got the airline installed, we're ready to put the bag back into the truck. As you can see here, it has a kind of like a twist lock style cutaway on the top. So once you put it in the bottom, there's actually kind of somewhat of a keyway that sits in a recessed slot here on the bottom of the knuckle. So when you go to install it, you just got to keep that in mind and line that up. There we go. All right, now we're over on the other side, and we're just going to repeat the same process. Go ahead and poke a hole in the airbag. Once it's deflated, we need to pop the spring up out of the knuckle. There we go. There it is. Turn it counterclockwise. Now just take your 10mm wrench and loosen the airline. All right, so there it is. Now we just need to slide the nut back, take off this compression fitting. There it goes. Remove the nut off the line and just pull the line out. There it is. Bag's out. Here's your new one. We've got the shipping insert tool in there. Just pop it right out. Take your line, insert it. Okay, there you go, you can see it clearly. This goes in, push it all the way in. It's all the way in, give it a tug, make sure it's secured. Put the bag back up. There it is. Twist it in. Clip your line back in. There you go. Okay, so as you can see, there's still a pretty significant gap between the bottom of the air spring and the top of the knuckle where it needs to clip in. So the way we're going to get rid of that gap is just go ahead and place a floor jack underneath the bottom of your rotor and just jack up the suspension to the bottom of the air spring. There we go. There it is. Now the air spring is fully installed. All that's left to do is put the wheels back on, lower the vehicle down, and start it up and let the bags fill up and just check for leaks. All right, so there it is. The vehicle's now back at factory ride height. No more sagging. It's good to go. So this this repair generally costs anywhere from the air springs are probably about $300 to $400 a piece. So let's say $800 in parts and probably around 3 hours of labor, which most labor rates at a BMW dealership are anywhere from $160 all the way up to like $220 or something like that. So it can be a pretty expensive job. These aftermarket air springs cost me, I believe, $150 each, and like I was saying earlier, they have a lifetime warranty. So I opted to go with the aftermarket over the OEM just because BMW parts only really have a 2-year parts warranty. So if you want to try and tackle this on your own, it's not that bad. You can do it pretty quickly, an hour of your time on a weekend. And yeah, about $300. Really, you don't need that many special tools. You need a jack, some jack stands, a 10mm wrench, and a pry bar or a flathead screwdriver. So it's a pretty simple job, really. Hopefully this saves you some money and encourages you to try and tackle it on your own. If you like the video, as always, please like, subscribe to the channel, and I will have some more videos coming out for this X5 specifically. I will be fixing the oil leak that it has. So yeah, catch you next time.